Well, new details tonight involving a gruesome crime in Waller County. A woman found murdered, her body dismembered, her husband now facing potential murder charges. That 21-year-old man is...
January 2023. Beneath the vast, wintering skies of Waller County, Texas, for 21-year-old Angie Diaz, the arrival of a new year became the terminal point of a vibrant, promising life. Married for only 4 months, a diligent worker at Cheppy's meat market who had traveled from Nicaragua to build a stable future, Angie's journey was cut short, not by the hardships of immigration or the street, but by the man who had stood at the altar beside her just weeks prior in the promise of eternal love. Angie was last seen vibrant and hopeful, but the silence following her last shift was soon broken by a horror that defied all human comprehension. It wasn't a desperate call for help that alerted the community, but a chillingly casual entrance by Reid Diaz into his parents' main house to grab a cold beverage. Behind the cabin doors, the small home had become a slaughterhouse. The scene unveiled was not a simple domestic dispute. It was a macabre theater of blood and depravity, concealing the brutal decapitation of a young bride. What actually happened behind those closed doors? A sudden psychological break, or a calculated act of terrifying ownership? This is the disturbing story of 21-year-old Reid James Diaz. Diaz didn't just kill, he enacted a ritual of total erasure. After stabbing Angie multiple times, with wounds to her back proving she tried to flee her attacker, he didn't call 911. Instead, he committed an act of unspeakable depravity: decapitation. He placed her severed head in the bathtub, carefully arranging shampoo bottles and a razor nearby, treating the remains with the cold indifference of a household object. He then walked into his parents' home, fetched a drink, and announced her death with a terrifyingly calm demeanor. This fabricated normalcy was his anchor, a way to distance himself from the headless torso he left in their home, normalizing the macabre until it became his twisted reality. Angie was a symbol of perseverance, a light in the community who worked hard to support her family abroad. Reid was her complete antithesis, the embodiment of lethal control. While Angie planned for a future, Reid enacted a slow erasure, treating her life as a disposable liability in his warped game of power. No one knew that life continued while Angie lay dismantled just feet away. The discovery unveiled a smell no officer would forget, and forensic evidence screaming the ultimate betrayal. A wife left as a trophy by the man who was supposed to be her protector.
Diaz and Diaz were newlyweds, meeting in early 2022. They were married in October by Waller County Judge Trey Duhan. At the meat market where she worked as a cashier, her managers said they became worried when she didn't show up for work yesterday. The manager also explained that she had met Diaz and that the couple seemed happy, their relationship moving quickly from dating to marriage in about 6 months. The couple lived in a small house behind the Diaz parents' house. The parents called authorities on Thursday when they realized something was wrong.
Everything happened on the property, and all parts and pieces were recovered and submitted for evidence.
Waller County Sheriff Troy Guidry says Diaz remained on the scene as investigators arrived. They found a gruesome scene with blood and Diaz's body dismembered and a possible weapon.
The evidence shows it was a kitchen knife.
The sheriff says they're looking into whether drugs may have played a role. Distraught relatives are planning a vigil this weekend as those who knew them struggle to comprehend what happened.
Angie was, this like a little ray of sunshine in this life. She was optimistic, and he made her happy and kept him in good spirits.
In Waller County, Maya Shea, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Let's put Diaz's statements on the scale of behavioral science. He attempted to construct an alibi of a sudden, involuntary break, yet his actions reveal a window of calculated brutality.
Hey, what did you do? What you saw? What did I see? Tell me what I saw. I'm asking you.
Reid cut her head off. That's what his big do.
And made you cut her head off. And what did you use to do that with? Where did you get the knife from?
It was put in my hand by her.
By her?
No.
Was the knife something that was already in your house?
Yes.
So tell me what happened then during that time. Was she up when you got home? Was she awake when you got home? Did y'all talk? Okay. Do you remember what y'all talked about?
We were just talking normally, and then she turned on the TV, and that's when that started. It made me follow the light.
How long were you home before this happened?
Like,
How long were you home?
if I lived the rough way. Started the morning, no.
She didn't do anything to cause it. Is that what you're saying? Tell me. I don't know. I'm asking the questions here, trying to figure it out. Did she say anything to you? Was she pleading? Did she tell you, don't do this? Stop? What did she say?
She said stop.
Jared, please don't do it with me. Just go it through with it and just tell me exactly what happened as soon as you got home. We know you can recall it. You're telling us they're in pieces.
I got one at 5. She turned on the screen. When she turned on the screen, like past week it was happening. It was like I was being controlled by and it was just like she was telling me to she was telling me to stop. And the TV where I saw the numbers, it just made me follow.
Okay. Continue.
I don't even remember that. It's like, you know how when you're working, you lose track of time.
Yeah.
It was time to go into state. And every time I did, the time would stop. And I'm just crazy. I overpowered.
So she turned the TV on. You saw all this stuff on the TV, and what did you do?
What it
Go do that with us. What did it tell you? What did it tell you? Go through it. Finish it up.
you told me to break up. It told me to break.
Okay, so what happened next? Did you follow through with that?
Yeah.
Well, she's fully clothed. She's on the floor. So tell us what happened. You say after you raped her, you did what else? How did she get on the floor?
We fought.
Were you fighting because you were trying to rape her, or it was afterwards? How did the fight start? How did the knife get introduced? Walk us through that.
We got into a fight. She grabbed the knife. Finally.
So you took the knife from her, or what?
Yes.
And then?
We started fighting and then
When the detectives pressed him about the moments leading up to the slaughter, Jared described a scene of domestic quietude. He stated they returned home at 4 a.m. and were just talking normally before the incident began around 5 p.m. This is the technique of fabricated normalcy. Jared attempts to anchor himself in a reality where he is a normal husband. However, investigators established a death window between 4 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. He was living in a cabin with a corpse for hours before casually walking into the main house to get a drink, proving that his normal talk was a mask for the gore already present in the room.
Did you have plans on hurting your mom or your dad when you went over to their house? There were no voices that told you to hurt them?
there's voices that tell me that shoot.
To shoot yourself? Why didn't you? Where was it done? You don't know?
But no, I wasn't gonna hurt.
You weren't gonna hurt your parents? So you could control that? You could control not hurting them?
Yes.
But the digital and telephonic record tells a deeper story of preparation. Days prior, Jared called 911 to report feeling weird and not well from drugs. He wasn't experiencing a sudden psychotic break on the day of the murder. He was profiling an alibi. By establishing a paper trail of drug-induced weirdness days before the killing, he hoped to provide himself a get-out-of-jail-free card based on temporary insanity. Data proves he was researching his defense before he even picked up the knife.
You were at that Magnolia?
My brother? No.
No, that's not
My
who.
brother does it.
I thought so. Maybe I have that one. The Baxter at Magnolia?
Sure.
Do you live like up, towards like you're going to the Renaissance Festival?
And how long have you been using?
2.5 weeks.
Why did you start it?
And Angie had no idea you were using?
No.
Is there any meth in the house? In your house? Did you use it?
There
all?
could be. I don't know.
Where do you usually keep it?
In one of the drawers.
Is one of those cars outside yours? Is
Yes.
is the Challenger?
The Challenger's Jared.
It's yours and Angie's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What else do you think we should know?
You guys sorry. I did that on Mary.
In the interrogation room, Dykus continuously shifts his mask, from a puppet controlled by voices to a husband annoyed by his wife's actions. Pay attention to the third-person dissociation. When asked how he killed her, he replies, "It wasn't Jared. It wasn't Jared." He attributes the violence to the numbers on the TV. To him, the beheading of Angie is an electronic command. This total refusal to take personal agency is a sign of a calculating mind attempting to mimic a psychiatric breakdown to avoid the death penalty.
Did she catch you using drugs? So why would you do something like that?
But those drugs just take control of you.
I understand that. You keep saying that, but I want to know.
We understand that part. We don't understand what happened in your house.
What happened?
We're asking you.
So I guess she just deserved it. I guess so. I mean, you're not saying anything. So maybe she just deserved it, huh? Maybe you didn't love her, and she just deserved it. Because obviously you didn't care. You don't care now. Not enough to say what actually happened. I would think that she would be deserving of that, but if she's not deserving of that, then maybe she was a bad person. Just really got under your skin. That was the problem with her, wasn't it?
Nobody's just a bad person.
You were just a bad person. Or she just a bad person. You're really showing like you loved her, but I don't think so.
Here's the deal. There's overwhelming evidence that would convict you at a trial. DNA, I mean, it's not a question that you did it. Right now, and I'm going to be frank, is your one shot to show any kind of remorse and ask for mercy. And I will tell you, the way it looks to juries, when you sit here and you stonewall and you refuse to answer, it's a lack of remorse and a lack of taking ownership. And they don't like that. So if you're considering your own well-being in this situation after having murdered your wife, and
I
that's
just want to tell the people I'm really sorry. She didn't deserve that. Nobody ever does. Nobody deserves.
You gotta tell them why you did it.
saying I'm sorry but refusing to talk and take ownership of what you did, that's not good enough.
I just lost my wife. I lost my way with God.
That's clear. We're not asking for generalities, and we're not asking about your personal relationship with God. Obviously, it's a struggle. It's a struggle for everybody. That's not a question. Nobody has a perfect relationship with Him. But we're going to ask you one last time what happened. And if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But your opportunity to have any kind of looking like a good guy of, this is what I did and I'm sorry and I can't believe I did it, that door is closing on you.
Look, I didn't do it.
you can't even keep a straight face, buddy. Is that it?
She was just a piece of trash you threw out, huh?
I know.
What would you tell her if she was sitting right next to you now? If she's just looking right at you, you're just going to say, I'm sorry? You're not going to give an explanation as to why? You're looking at her in the eye, and you can't tell her why you did this? Why? Why did you decide to do this to her?
You know, an eagle and I didn't have some crazy. I was just up too long.
So what did she say to make you mad to do that to her? She had to say something. To be that mad to do what you did? Dude, that's why.
I don't know, something that controlled me.
Okay, so it did. So it made you do what?
Something on
What did it make you do?
the screen. It was telling me.
Okay.
Telling me what to do.
What did it tell you to do?
It would like stop time. Like you have going to do something, it would stop.
Okay.
This is classic victim blaming. Jared implies the violence started because Angie turned on the TV. He projects the trigger for his rage onto the victim's most mundane behavior. He implies that if she hadn't touched the remote, she would still be alive. By framing her simple action as the catalyst for his control loss, he attempts to make her the architect of her own demise.
Did it tell you how to kill her?
Yes.
So how did you kill her? Tell us how you killed her.
I don't know because it wasn't Jared. It wasn't Jared.
Okay, so it wasn't Jared, it's somebody that was, you think, that caused you to do it. What did he cause you to do to her? You said he caused you to kill her, but tell us how it caused you to kill her. What did you do to her? Jared, what did you do to her?
serious.
Okay. But what did you not mean to do? What did you do to her?
It wasn't serious.
What did you do to her?
Oh.
Jared believed he could hide behind the fog of a meth-induced frenzy, but he forgot about a witness that never lies. The bathtub. Interrogators and body cam footage reveal a detail that shatters the chaotic drug trip defense. Kansat found Angie's head in the bathtub, but it wasn't just dumped there. It was found with shampoo and conditioner bottles and a razor laying in the bathtub neatly by her head. This is ritualistic possession. A truly out-of-control person leaves a chaotic scene. Jared, however, engaged in post-mortem grooming. He wanted to clean his trophy. He treated her remains with the calculated organization of a collector, satisfying a warped need for total domestic order and ownership.
I took 2 steps in and I walked
Saw
right
it
back out.
and then walked back out. So
Yeah, I
no
didn't need to go
touching,
any
no
further.
moving, nothing.
No, I just
Okay.
went in to look to find the other part. That was it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But I didn't walk through anything.
Oh, it's in the bathroom.
And she's not in the bathtub.
The head's in the bathtub.
Okay.
Is there water in the
Huh?
Is there water in the bathtub?
It's dry. There's a couple of shampoo and conditioner bottle and a razor laying in the bathtub neatly by her head. I don't know why.
Did he wash her
It
hair?
was strange. I have no idea. But she's in the action.
What time is it?
No? Oh, no.
5:23. 17:24.
No, I'm definitely not making it back to my office by 6.
I'm not making it to jujitsu at 6:30.
No, you're not.
We can
Didn't I got I asked Jared first for the code to his phone. He goes, "Sure, I'll give it to you," and he gave me that. And he goes, "Oh no, I think that's all I remember."
And then
And he
said
said it may be, and then I think I heard 1, 2, and then when I went and asked Daddy what his code was, he goes, "Sure, I'll give it to you." Daddy swears that Daddy says that's his. Daddy's. Wayne gave me that.
Dion.
Okay.
Like Sandy.
We can try.
I mean, Jared gave me that, but that's all I could get out of him. Oh, pardon me, Mike.
That's what her name, right?
Yeah, what's that mean, like? Where did you find out? Yeah. I know. Okay, so did you learn anything? Have you been talking to anybody?
Yeah, they'll come out. Need anything, let me.
I'll get you the name
Which-
and info as soon as I get grandparents.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just
Grandparents.
text me, send it to me. Thanks.
Take care, buddy. So basically, I'm sure they've already told you that my 2 brothers that live here.
The most terrifying truth is found in his blunt confession. When asked if she was still alive when he began the decapitation, he answers, yes. Well, this isn't a domestic dispute. It is total family annihilation. He chose a method of killing that required prolonged physical effort and the witnessing of immense suffering. He didn't want her dead. He wanted her dismantled. He enacted total control by ending her life in the most intimate and horrific way possible, ensuring she could never leave him, even in death.
It made me hear a lot of noise. It made me, I won't turn on. I stopped going that way. It was talking to me. Information was just getting in. And I didn't want it. It was coming. And trying to scare me. Down to the point where the little sounds that scare me.
There were other stabbings on her body. Did you do that after you cut her head off? Or before?
Well, before or afterwards, you said?
You just told me before. Did she injure you at all? Did she cut you with the knife when she had it? If you don't know, that's okay. We're gonna look through pictures and stuff later. Just to make you remember. Why did you put her head in the bathtub?
thing he told me.
Her hair was wet, how come? What do you think about that?
In the courtroom, Jared Dykus remained a statue of chilling indifference, mirroring the same vacant, unbothered expression he wore while grabbing a soda after butchering his young wife. He offered no weeping, no apology. He was devious enough to seek sanctuary behind a narrative of chemical psychosis, a calculated legal gambit designed to rebrand his horrific carnage as a mere accident of substance abuse. It was a hollow effort to preserve his self-crafted image as a victim of his own habits rather than a predator of his own home. Yet the scales of justice were not deceived by his performance. The final decree was absolute, a 40-year prison term, a sentence that guarantees he will wither away behind concrete walls for the vast majority of his remaining life. The Jared Dykus tragedy stands as a morbid illustration of how lethal darkness can reside unobserved within the quiet confines of a family estate. It proves that the most ghastly monsters don't always haunt the shadows. Sometimes, they are the men who can meticulously arrange a severed head in a bathtub, viewing a human life with less dignity than an unfinished household chore. Angie Diaz was silenced by a husband's blade, but the unyielding forensic facts and 911 recordings became the heavy iron gates of the cell that will lock this killer away from the sunlight until he is an old man.